What's good, superstars? Back with another VV video. You got Superstar Joe, you got Superstar Rob, and you got Superstar Non-Fungible Wonderfull. How's it going, bud?
Yeah, let's go. Pineapple Gang is Non-Fungible Wonderfull. And I'm back with another video. We on YouTube, we learning, and I'm feeling wonderful, man. Let's go.
Amazing.
Pineapple Gang in the house.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that pineapple hard.
Thanks for coming. We appreciate you being here, and I think we're gonna have a good video today. So again, thanks for coming on our channel, and I think we're gonna have a fun one today for anyone watching.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Pineapple Gang time, superstars, man. Too lit.
That's it.
If you guys are new here, please don't forget, hit the subscribe button down below. Good things are going to happen to you. That superstar juju has been happening. People have been hitting secret rares like crazy. Those people who have been going for the drop, it's incredible. We love hearing your stories whenever you watch a video and then you go for a drop, what happens. So make sure you're doing that. Check out the Instagram, the TikTok, and the Twitter, because we're talking to David Yu every single day in the DMs, and he's just giving us all the information, and then we're retweeting it. We're also talking with Non-Fungible Wonderfull down there, and he's retweeting everything. That guy's a retweet machine. So make sure you're following him on Twitter as well. Check out his YouTube channel. I'm going to pull it up in a second here. If you want to follow us on VV, we got Fastos up for 6909. Or number 6909 for 9.9 million. So that's how you can find us. And after this video, I'm probably going to go through and follow every single person back. Let's build the friend community. I've got his channel here right now. I just want to show you guys.
You got it? Okay. No, it's okay. You got it. You pull it up.
There you go. So Pineapple Gang, you guys know him. He's big into he's a creative soul, this guy. He is putting his heart and soul into music and also into his videos. Recently, if you've seen any of his videos, they've been blowing my mind. I've been just like diving deep into them, and it's just been like, how does he find this stuff?
So actually, now you mention, how do you find this stuff? How do you come up with some of the stuff you come up with?
Yo, to be honest, man, I really have been in VV so long that as soon as I see something, I remember so many things associated with it. So it's like, I'm just a VVOG, man. It's like these connections just be showing themselves.
He's got the sign. So there's VV sign right there, pineapple sign. He's an OG that proves it there, right? Okay, so I guess let's go through the news quickly, guys. We have a comic coming out tomorrow. I don't know how you do it. Do you go for drops anymore? What do you do? You go for every drop?
Yeah. Nah, yeah. Nowadays, I don't go for every single drop, but, I do definitely check out the drops. If I'm around to get a comic or something, I'll definitely get it. But, hey, yo, I see some great comics coming out, some different types, man. Yo, VV going in, man.
Yeah, it's all different. Exactly. It's not even just Marvel now. We've seen the Tarzan off app. So this one here, though, I don't think I'm going to be going for it on the drop. If we've seen what happened on the last comic drop, dropping down to like $1.50. Kind of scary stuff there. So if you want it, maybe it makes sense to pick it up in the aftermarket if you want one of the lower rarities. But if you want to risk it for that newspaper cover, maybe a good idea to go for it on the drop. But you might be losing like 80% of your money at this point.
Yeah, like VV Rank hasn't even put this one up yet. It doesn't seem too excited about it. But it's a funny story. My buddy, he actually went for the last drop. We made a video back in the day, actually not that long ago now, but we made a video about if you only had 100 gems. We did it for him. And we said, if you only have 100 gems and you want to grow those gems, you should go for A rank, B rank comics that have high physical world value. And you should go for, actual drops that you might have a chance at flipping to making some gems because you don't want to add more money. Funny enough, he still went for the drop. He has no problem gambling them, and he got the secret rare. So he's like, whatever. I'm good.
That's lit. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. That's real perfect.
Yeah. This one here, though, I'm going to tell him stay away, please. Just don't do it.
Go for it in a second. So today it was a big day. Like we planned this in a couple of weeks in advance or whatever with you, but they ended up dropping that community update on the same day. So it's like lucky day. We get to talk with the legend about the community update. We're really excited to get into that. We're going to get into that. That's one of the things on the topic. Just want to show a couple things here. Look at this.
Yeah,
look at the utility of this. Just in, I think it was that Vegas or something. Yeah, T-Rex made it to Vegas. That's just incredible.
It looks like Vegas.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
crazy.
No, it's one of the best ones there on the app right now.
Yeah. So why don't we get into it? Let's talk a little bit about the AMA. Shout out to VVV Verse for putting together this summary. It's great. I love whenever she does this because it just helps us to go through it quickly, point by point, and it's the major topics from the AMA. So first things that we see here is that Veve, the decon party, those people who went there and bought the physical of the self-made by Brett Crawford, you're going to get a promo code and you'll be able to get a reservation screen for whenever it does come to Veve, so you can skip the line kind of thing and make sure you get one from Veve.
It's cool.
Also, the decon kickoff party attendees, it's confirmed now. I've seen the emails on Twitter. They're getting Veve signs delivered to them just for going to that kickoff event. So it's just making me even more jealous for not being at that event. And I don't think there was that many people there, a couple hundred people or something. So it's going to be limited.
There's no way it was that big. There's no way.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to end up dropping it. Do you think they're going to drop it as a drop?
They said so. Go ahead.
Yeah, they said they're going to do it for the wait list. So yeah, hopefully we all able to get that.
That'd be cool. You can put it with your physical and your vert. You can have the pair, right?
Yeah, having an AR with it. Yeah, that would be clean.
That would be cool. Yeah, you can put that away if you want and just have the AR in the background, green screen. Everybody's gonna have Veve signs in their videos. Also, Veve and Comic-Con are doing a collab here. It looks like New York and San Diego. But I was reading around that these tickets like sold out last year. So
oh, wow.
It's a lot of secondary purchases to get into this event, it seems like.
The San Diego one maybe is a huge event. I don't know why that would be the case, but maybe it's one of the biggest events. Like, you know how they have UFC, usually the fight night, international fight night weekend is always the biggest one that sells out in 2 seconds. Maybe all these different events. Maybe the San Diego one is the top one. Maybe anyone watching, if you know, let us know below if there's something special about it.
Well, they're announcing a big partnership here. It looks like that's her next point. Veve will announce a new partnership at San Diego Comic-Con, and I think that's in July from when I looked it up, like the 21st to 24th or something like that. Don't quote me. It's around that time period, though.
All right.
The big one was Q2 priorities, still on track. KYC and payout will start beta testing early next week. I think they mentioned like 1,000 to 2,000 people will get the access off the bat, and then those people will probably be the ones who get the KYC, and then they should be the ones who get the cash out option. And then they're just going to keep rolling it out. Kind of, I guess, how they did the web app. And apparently everybody should have the web app end of next weekish, they were mentioning. So that's cool if you didn't have it.
You know what caught me off guard is when they talked about how it was beta testing. When I first saw that, I'm like, aren't we already in beta testing for like the last, like, who knows how long? But I guess what they mean is like the actual, like, final version, like right before they're going to convert it. I think it's a KYC. If you go in the app right now, you can actually, I found a function in the settings. You could put your name and everything. You could put in your information, but they mentioned on the AMA now, maybe it's going to be your passport with your face, right? Yeah. Very similar to any crypto exchange to make you write, you know, your whatever, your birthday, or you want, this is your name, here's your birthday. And then you take a photo with your photo ID and send it over. So it's probably going to be something similar like that.
One of the biggest things that they mentioned as well that nobody was expecting was the payout options. We all expected the fiat option, but now they're saying there's going to be cash out to crypto. And a little bit more into that, I don't know if you've seen this yet. You're the detective. You tell me if you've seen this tweet yet.
Right.
But Reese, responding to a thread here, he says, he was asking, do you have a rough idea how long crypto payments would take to process? And Reese says, I'll let you know more specifics when I've processed one in production, but I think it's safe to assume it will be much quicker than fiat. So does that mean instant? Does that mean, you know what I mean? It's not going to be 2 weeks, it seems like.
Yo, that means fast, man. Because if you're doing Bitcoin payments, there's no way to really do that slow. It's like once it's out, it's out.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Exactly. Once you process it, it's doing the whatever it does to get to you. So that's huge. That's a game changer.
Yeah, it has a lot of impacts if you think about it, because we were talking about the off-app gem market. We were talking about how when MTL finally does come, you may not kill it because of the time it's going to take, other reasons. But one of the reasons was the time it would take to get the gems out. They were saying it could take up to 2 weeks. When I hear this crypto, I got caught up. I'm like, this is going to be fast now. All of a sudden, you can liquidate quick into crypto, do what you got to do with it, and even come back.
Yeah, when I first heard that, it really threw me off, because now that really makes me think of the MTL way differently. So I'm very excited for this.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. So, Rob, you got anything else there you want to pull up, or should we get into the speculation stuff?
I think in terms of the daily news, let's get into the speculation, because, you know, we fought every time we have someone on the channel, we try to think about what's their thing and how is it that we can have, you know, we can build our discussions around what is their niche, and I think we sometimes do a draft. We figure that maybe for you it'd be better to draw on your knowledge on the speculation with some of the the outside connections of VV. We know as well, you're an OG, you've been here for a long time, so you have a lot of the background history, like you mentioned. So funny enough, it's one of the questions I actually wanted to ask you, and you sort of answered it before, but it was, how exactly do you come up with your video ideas? Like one of them, for example, was the Starlink. You talked about Elon Musk, you talked about Starlink, and I have a lot of questions about that, but I'll start off by saying, how did you come up with it? What was the inspiration?
Yeah, so with that one, Johnny Dunn, he's an OG too in the game. And he was somebody who told me, yo, check out David Yu's Instagram because he got all these hints on there. So I always check David Yu's Instagram. I always look at it. Even recently, I looked at it and I saw that he actually put up new photos that he had hidden before. So he shows like different signs and stuff in his Instagram. So I saw the Starlink one and I saw the SpaceX one, and David Yu was sending Pokemon cards to space. So I'm thinking like, wait, there has to be some type of Elon Musk connection if he's at SpaceX. And then I watched the NASA documentary about Elon Musk, and it showed me that NASA and SpaceX were way more connected than I thought. So when I saw David Yu's Instagram, I was thinking, okay, this has to be Elon Musk. And I started looking into the Starlink and seeing what the Starlink does. It just aligns with Veve's vision in order for them to have like an interoperable metaverse. But yeah, the fact that David Yu was posting those Starlink pictures, that was major to me.
Yeah.
So how do you see the Starlink, I guess, playing out when this all happens? I know you talked about it in your video. If you guys haven't seen it, guys, we're gonna hint at a couple of his videos in this one. So make sure you go to his channel to watch the detailed version. But I want to know what your thoughts are, how you see VV using Starlink that will separate it from other apps or other types of AR, VR stuff.
Yeah, so when it comes to the Starlink, I think that this is not only going to affect Veve, this is going to affect the entire, crypto space, blockchain space, because this is really starting to merge satellites with the metaverse. And I was always thinking, like, for the metaverse to be possible, we need to have very fast internet connection. Everything needs to be like spot on, and satellites can do that. So when you have these low orbit satellites going around the Earth, Starlink is going to be able to connect you very fast. And the reason why that's big is because with gaming, if people are gaming to make money, to make crypto, you don't want to have lag, because if a little bit of lag hits your game and you lose, that's going to be heartbreaking. So I feel like that's another reason why Starlink is huge in this.
So then you were. I'll go ahead. Finish your question, Joe.
Are you gonna move on, or are you gonna stick on Starlink? Because I can wait. Okay,
No,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So you were saying about fast internet speed. So do you think that the satellites as well, like I guess it kind of goes hand in hand, but would they use it maybe to geographically reference pretty much every, we talk about VV art. It doesn't have to just be VV. It could be any NFT project in the metaverse environment. Are they it's part of the internet as well as that geographic referencing, where when you put on those glasses, it's on the wall and it's always going to stay on that wall.
Yeah, so that one is more of the geospatial. So there's actually a couple projects that I have seen where you can scan your room and it'll kind of have like AI. So one big part of like all of this, like, AR mapping, it's a lot to do with AI, because AI is seeing things, AI is picking up where locations are, and it's having memory. So when it comes to, us having collectibles all around our house, I would say that's more of like an AI thing. But I also seen that Google just released this geospatial API, which means that you can have these shared augmented reality experiences with other people. So if you're seeing something in AR, I'll be able to see it too. And I see how they're just, opening up this technology to us. And it just makes me very bullish, man.
I love that you guys just said that, because like what I was going to say earlier, it just kind of fueled it. Think about it like this. So when I watched your video, the where my head went was, we got Starlink now. Now we're going to have internet where we didn't have internet. Now you're talking about the AI and the API and all this. Imagine this. Imagine you go on a cruise and you're taking the boat and you're going up to like Iceland or somewhere where you can see the northern lights. Okay. You can see the northern lights, but now we got glasses, which we're going to get into, by the way. But you got glasses now. You put on your glasses. You go on the cruise. The boat stops. They're like, "Okay, everybody put on your glasses." You put your glasses on. You're looking up. You see the northern lights, and then all of a sudden you see like Star Wars ships coming around doing a battle in front of you in the sky in a place where there's no internet ever, and you're looking at northern lights in the back. Imagine like the draw that will have, that the money that cruise would make to have this type of a show put on for you, right? So that's where my head started going when you put out that video. So I thought it was incredible.
Yo, that's a great point, because with AR glasses, like one of the things about AR glasses, I knew that 5G, when they start rolling out 5G, I knew that was a big part of the speed of the internet. And then when I saw satellites, the satellite is going to link to the AR glasses super fast, so you'll be able to see everything in real time with everybody else. That's why that speed needs to be there, because if you go have a virtual experience, everybody needs to see it like perfectly. You feel me? Yo, that's a great idea, man.
Yeah, Veve, if you're listening, call Non-Fungible first, and then he'll call me up, and we'll go write out some plans. I guess further to that, then we got into the glasses a little bit. I saw you did a video on it. I don't know if it was last week or a couple weeks ago. You're talking about the Apple glasses. We also did a video kind of off your inspiration. How do you see that working? I think you kind of hinted at it, but do you see it being more of an immersive VR experience, or do you see it being more of a layered augmented reality, mixed reality type of thing when they do roll out in the masses, whenever that happens? And when do you see that happening?
So 2023, I think that we're going to see the mixed reality headset. I think the mixed reality headset is going to be based around VR, but I think the mixed reality part is going to be more for the gaming side. So, I've been thinking that Mighty Marvels is going to be a game for a while. And I was thinking, like, if Mighty Marvels is a game, how would I play this on my phone? How would it look? And I was thinking, like, it's going to be very hard for me to play an AR game. But then when I saw Mark Zuckerberg with the Cambria headset, which was a mixed reality headset, he had the 2 controllers. So I feel like you're going to be able to play games like this. And I also see that Apple is up in their gaming too. And like, I'm playing Apex Legends on my iPhone, in real time. So I already see that Apple has made some crazy improvements to what their device is.
You mentioned some potential partnerships between the two, between Apple and Veve. Where does that come from?
So actually my very first video that I made about Veve, I knew that they were partnering with Apple, because, we were so early to NFTs, and I'm thinking, how is this one company already having NFTs on the App Store? I'm like, there's no other company doing this. I'm like, they have to be linking up with Apple. And I already got that Apple vibe because it was so seamless, so easy to use. I'm like, ain't no way a company is doing this without Apple's help. And then when I found out that Apple and Google were taking 30% of everything Veve made, that solidified. And then, it was all speculation at first until David Yu said, oh, we've been in talks with Apple. And I also heard Reese say, oh, we're already testing for a mixed reality headset. Hopefully Apple comes out with one. So I saw so many Apple connections, and Apple is really one of my favorite brands. I've been using everything Apple since I was a kid, man.
Yeah, Apple by far is one of my favorite brands. My brother is he's a computer guy, and he basically always used to say to me, "Listen, Apple's legit. I'm gonna get called an eye sheep, okay? But Apple's legit. You got quality with the Apple. They, at the end, great customer service, great company, and of course, they've continued to only come up with better products. And obviously, anything they put out basically turns to gold. So the fact that Veve's even partnered with them, I mean, they can go a long way with that. And you triggered me when you talked about gamification as well, and it's related as well to the headsets, because ultimately there's the discussion of Web3, the decentralized internet, the ownership. It's going to be a decentralized internet full of different ownership. And when you talk about the Mighty Marvels, it's like, it just makes so much sense in the long term of now owning your character. You literally own a character in a game. I don't know if you're a gamer, but like, what do you think about that?
Oh, I think that's huge, man. I think that is really big because, I grew up playing games. I grew up with a Game Boy and GameCube, everything, Nintendo 64. So if I was even able to have characters that I had from when I was a kid and still own it, like for example, I used to play this game called Club Penguin, right? And they had kind of a digital ownership type of thing in it. And I remember I used to have all of these like one-of-one things or like special mints. It wasn't minting back then, but I was able to get these pieces. And then my account got banned and I just lost all my stuff. You feel me? But you know, if it was an NFT, I would be able to access these things. And you know, this digital ownership part is big. Like I'm a graphic designer. I went to school for graphic design. So, you know, when it comes to digital files, this is right up my alley. And to be able to have proven ownership over it is huge, man.
So what do you think then when we talk about interoperability then and having ownership, true ownership? I think that has to come with going on to IMX or coming off of the app. Do you see? I know they've mentioned eventually they hope they get everything off of the app. How do you see that rolling out? And what do you see? I guess on OpenSea right now. I don't even know. I'm not on OpenSea, but can you like rotate an image? Can you look around at it? Is it the same thing like Veve?
Yeah, you could kind of do a couple things on OpenSea. Also, OpenSea is integrating with Immutable X as well.
Yeah,
and I know that even Reese was saying that they've been focusing on OpenSea's integration. So I think that, well, you know, first of all, I think that Coinbase is about to make a huge announcement with Veve maybe, and we could start seeing the Immutable X roll out from there. But I think when it comes to the NFTs, interoperability is going to be a huge thing. And the fact that all of these major platforms are on Immutable X is going to be very easy because based on what I'm seeing, Immutable X has a monopoly. They are like Veve. Like they have all of these big brands, and Immutable X has everybody. Based on what I'm seeing.
Do you think that in the near term you'd just simply be able to take them off just for nothing more than sale purposes, and then you have to bring them back into Veve to be used, or do you think in the near term you'd actually be able to use them in some kind of AR environment outside of Veve?
Oh, for sure. So, you know, I was actually on the AMA, which is other project called World Overlay, who was mentioning on Immutable X. And they have like these different worlds that they make. And I was talking to them about, you know, I was like, you know, I have an Ecto 1 card. Will I be able to pull this card into the World Overlay and use it? And they were kind of like, yeah, you should be able to do it. So when it comes to interoperability, there's also another platform called Wilder World building on Immutable X. This is another one I could see us having our NFTs in. So one thing I know about Immutable is that they are partnered with Unreal Engine, or a lot of projects have been using it. So I know that you can bring NFTs into Unreal. So I think that Veve NFTs are going to be able to be in all types of environments, just depending on the block size. So for a metaverse like Sandbox, though, that's questionable. But other than that, I think we're going to be able to see Veve NFTs all over the place, which makes them more scarce too. I don't know if you could bring them back onto the app though. I'm not sure because I feel like I remember them saying something about that. Like once you take it off, you can't bring it back.
Oh,
but
interesting.
I think they said that, but I'm not fully sure.
So is the VVV Verse then going to be built outside of the app because you're going to use them? Like, let's say they build the VVV Verse within the app, then you take it out, you can't go back. So is that just going to be its own infrastructure, completely unrelated? The app's just going to be a market, pretty much.
That's what I think. I heard something like that. Somebody, I forget who was talking about it, but they said Veve kind of talked about it. Might have been you. I don't even know. Someone said they. I think it might have been you. You said they talked about it like it was two separate entities or something when they talked about VVV Verse versus Veve app development.
Yeah, because you know, right now there's a couple questions I have too about Veve because I don't know if Vive's going to change their name. I don't know if things are going to change with Veve. So sometimes I question it because I've heard little things that make me think that maybe the Veve that we see now can change. But when it comes to the Veve Verse, I know that they said that we'll see, you know, an early version of it. They said it's going to be like the showroom on steroids. So hopefully it's an integration with Unreal Engine where we can do a lot more. But yeah, when it comes to the Veve Verse, I was trying to make a video on it, but I feel like there's not enough information for me to really, you know.
The way I see it is like, I guess at least the initial version is maybe the first things that they do is I'm able to see your NFTs. Like maybe it's like geospatial, something like that. So like if we're in the same area, we kind of scan that area and then you place your stuff down and I place my stuff down and we can kind of take a picture with it. Maybe that's like the early way. I don't know. I'm not too tech savvy when it comes to that stuff, but that's how I picture it in my head.
Yeah, definitely. I hope it's that way first because, you know, then we could start placing the AR collectibles around our house. Other people can see them. So yeah, I think that would be a great way.
Yeah, even if it's just through your phone initially, and then eventually they come out with the glasses and you can see them like that. But further to, I guess you already talked about it, your Apple your Apple connections that you've been finding. I just wanted to give the shout out here because today, if you guys haven't seen it, he put out a video, and I don't want to spoil it or do anything like that. So guys, make sure you go check out that video on his channel because it was a really good one, and it really got you thinking like, wow, this might be way bigger than anybody's imagining right now, especially if the reasons that Veve was at Decon kickoff party, like David, you and Dan, could have been for other reasons. That could have just been a side gig.
Yeah, because they said like, oh, we didn't even travel for 2 years. So I'm like, for them to all go, that is pretty big, and the fact that I know that they talked to Apple, the fact that the classes are coming out, also Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Pixar, these are all companies that work with Apple, and Apple just put out a whole video about Star Wars and how they make the sounds for it. So the same sounds that we hear on Veve, these same people were making. So that's why I'm like, they have to be connected.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. They said in the EMA as well, they met a lot of their licensors, and then David Yu was kind of like, "Oh, let me I don't want to give anything away," but they're in the part of the world where they can probably meet a lot of people from the companies because this is kind of the you're in the headquarters area, right?
Yeah. In San Diego and California, there are so many huge brands making moves. Like even Elon Musk, and remember how you were talking about the satellites? There's even a satellite company out in California too doing things. So yeah, California really got all of the tech geniuses too. So
yeah, it's incredible because a lot of people right now, like, they're not forward thinking, they're not seeing this, they're not interested in the space as of now. There's no usability for them. We talk about the word utility. The average man needs to be able to understand and see the utility. So when we talk about how we're going to have these, like the art, VV art on my wall, something like that is something when people start seeing that, that's going to create that demand. But I just love how you talk about the games because I think that there's just so much opportunity there. And like when we talk about the brands and creating games brands, like, okay, yeah, we got the Marvel, but then we talk about Pokemon. I'm going to say the word. All right, we talk about you want to own things from your games that used to be so old and you've lost it. Remember your old Pokemon Yellow or whatever, go way back, Red and Blue. Those are all OG Pokemon, the first ones that came out. Imagine you owned them. Imagine it was scarce. You can only own a certain number of them. And then going back into the future, how proud you'd be in that collectible environment to own those kind of things. So it all kind of makes sense when you put it together with the different branding. But since we're on the topic, like, what do you think? Do you think that Pokemon and, they already have a partnership right now, with the Pokemon Go guys, and I actually emailed them. I didn't hear back. But they're working on their own metaverse too. Do you think that Pokemon's going to forego, the Pokemon company is going to forego who they already are partnered with and go with Veve instead? Like, how do you think that's going to happen? How's it going to work?
Yeah, so that's one of the things I've been trying to figure out, like, how is Pokemon going to work together with Veve, and like what would it look like? Because Vive's not necessarily going to have a monopoly over Pokemon, but they have to have some type of way that they collab in a way that makes sense. So I think the first thing that we have seen is the fact that Pokemon Go and Pokemon TCG are partnering up. Then I also saw that the Pokemon company, I think they bought the people that actually made the card. So they actually bought that company. With Veve, I would say that maybe they might just drop some collectibles on there that have some type of utility. But one of the things that I would love to see from Pokemon is them being able to add utility to the OG cards. So if you're somebody who's been collecting Pokemon cards for years, you should be able to pull that card out now and play with it in augmented reality. Because I think that, adding retroactive type of utility will be a big thing, because if you want people all over the world to get into it, you don't want people to feel like, oh, all these new people are getting Pokemon cards and we've been collecting them for years and we don't get nothing. So I hope that they, have something like that. But with Veve, maybe it might just be a collectible to start. But I think that when it comes to ecomi though, the Omi token might be used in Pokemon TCG and things like that. So maybe Pokemon Go and Pokemon TCG will use the Omi token, and I think that's where the biggest part of it is. And that's why I think the Omi token is called Omi, because that means Japanese heritage, and it's like an ancient thing. So I know that Japan loves Pokemon. So if Omi token is the Pokemon token, I think that would be huge.
No,
Yeah,
that
because
makes sense.
they got to back the ownership with a blockchain, and they're going to have to use some kind of token. So
Yeah.
And I think the whole Pokemon Go infrastructure is just like perfectly set up for this. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they have that partnership with Niantic actually over Pokemon. And right now, the whole reason it's not coming out is because they're working on the background, figuring out how the heck do we transition this onto the blockchain, moving existing accounts. Like kind of to your point, people who've been playing Pokemon Go for 5 years, they built up these accounts. Then they're gonna see this new thing come out, and then what? They're gonna be like, "What the heck?" And now I got this virtual thing, but now there's these real ones that people own. So if they can somehow tie that in or let you bring over a certain amount or something like that, and then go back to kind of like the original days of Pokemon Go where you went out, you knew where things were and you went to go search for them, or you knew what areas things were in. I'm not sure if that's how it is now anymore. But I remember back in the day, like there was those maps people had online, and you can go, okay, over here, there's probably a Dragonite somewhere in this area. That was the cool days, right? So if they did something like that again, and now you actually own it on the blockchain, I think that's the best way to do it. Tie it into that, and also tie it into the TCG. Make people be able to open packs on Veve and use those packs in the TCG. Like that's how I see it happening, and I always seen it happening. And if they did anything different, like you said, I think there will be collectibles as well. Like you just get a Pikachu statue, like this guy, and you just put them on your shelf, right? But other than that, I think there's so much they can do with it, and I think maybe that might be why though. Like maybe they're trying to figure out how to do it, or maybe they're doing the technical part now, trying to convert everything over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the idea of providing existing users utility was a great one I actually never thought of, which is, you have a hardcore Pokemon collector. Okay, metaverse starts, give it back to them by saying, okay, prove. I don't know how it would be. Take a picture of every single one you're collecting. I don't even know how they would do it.
Think about bringing people in. That's the whole thing. You already have this user base of how many people are on Pokemon Go, hundreds of millions. You have that user base there that are invested. They've put money in to buy berries or whatever the heck they buy, their bigger backpacks. Now they've already put the money in, somehow transition them into this new Pokemon verse. You already got the users. You don't even need to go out and get them. They're there already. They've already invested. So now you bring them over into the new infrastructure. Think about it like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because, the people that's already here, you want to make sure that they're not feeling like, yo, we just got screwed, And one of the reasons why I was really thinking that, even existing Pokemon cards might have utility is because Logan Paul has been buying all of these cards. I'm thinking like Logan Paul don't seem like he would just buy these cards for no reason. So I feel like he might be buying these cards and he knows what utility they're going to have in the future. So that's one of my conspiracies about Logan Paul too.
You think he's in really deep with the VV team? You think they've I know they've mentioned that they have influencers and people seeing his name around. I don't know if it's actually him, but that guy's got a lot of collectibles on VV.
Oh yeah. I know Logan Paul is connected because I know that they just came out with that Prime drink and they had a partnership with Walmart. And I know that Alfred Khan is super cool with Walmart too. So it's like, and Logan Paul mentioned on me before, he's also cool with Jeremy Padawer. So you already know, like Logan Paul, he's about to start promoting Pokemon when all this stuff happens.
Yeah, he must be holding off right now. Like the VV team has said that they're not really ready to go all in yet. They're still makes sense. Let's finish the app and then you can go all out on your marketing. But definitely these influencers with 1 million subs or more, if they start getting involved, like it's going to be game changer. But it's a little bit of a change of topic, but it's still in the same line. So I don't know if anything else, Joe. But
I
want to say one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Logan Paul's homie KSI, who also dropped a drink with him, one of KSI's best friends has a huge Pokemon channel too. So I know that there's a connection with that. And I know that KSI also rocks Gymshark, and the owner of Gymshark is a VV collector as well. So I've seen a little connections with them as well.
They're in their group chat on WhatsApp. Like, oh, I can't wait to talk. It's too bad we signed this NDA.
Yeah, with Gary V.
You have any other connections you want to mention? Andre Jake has talked a lot about Veve and maybe who's connected to him, and or anything else that you could think of.
Yeah, Andre Jake, him, Grant. Like when he does like Millennial Money and he's like with Graham Stephan, I always feel like Graham Stephan tries to play down what's going on, but they know what's going on. But Andre Jake is just that voice of the person who's a VV investor and trying to find his way. Like I feel like all of these are like little storylines because it just seems like based on what I'm seeing, there is a lot of connections with these YouTubers, and they say some stuff that there's no way that they don't have inside information.
It's too juicy of a topic as well. Like when you're making YouTube every day, like we do it every single day. If this came across our desk and we're talking money, like this would be huge. It's something that's different. It's new. It's exciting. So for these guys who cover financials all the time, not to say anything about it, it's almost like you're right. Like maybe they all already signed the paperwork not to say anything. Maybe Andre was their guinea pig. Let's see how it goes. Let him go out there and talk about it a little bit and see what happens. And I think he had a huge impact. I think a lot of people came in. Think about it. He put the video out right before Golden Moments Week, like what or during it, whatever. What's the chances of that? Like it's perfectly timed video. A guy with not crazy amount of followers, but they wanted to see what happened. Then the app broke for a little bit. They had to bring it back, right? So imagine these bigger guys are putting out videos. What happens?
Yeah, exactly. And Andre Jake, he has been seen with Logan Paul talking about Pokemon cards. And also, Andre Jake just dropped a video about how much money he lost with Omi and Veve. And I think that we're about to see a huge jump after that. So, and based on this cash out news and MTL crypto cash out, you already know that's super bullish. Like I did not expect that at all, because I thought that MTL was actually going to be something that kind of crashed the app a little bit. And, I thought it was going to be around, but the fact that you couldn't do crypto is big.
Yeah. And that, you just mentioned about that interview he did with Logan, and no mention of Veve. Like, come on, you're telling me you're not gonna talk to Logan Paul about Veve with Pokemon speculated, and you just did a bunch of videos on Veve. How are you not talking to him about that? Clearly, he knows about it. He's talked about it on his podcast. You both have that in common, and you don't talk about it in an interview. So there's definitely something. There's definitely something.
Yeah, for real, man.
Rob, you got anything else related, or you want to talk about?
Well, I was going to move on. We could keep going on that, but I actually want to ask you something different, because it's in your niche, right? So we know about Web3. We talk more about ownership, and then obviously there's music, right? Music is going to be a big part of Web3, and how there's the new ways now of bringing music to people and how it's going to be structured. It's always been a problem in the music industry. Remember LimeWire? I don't know if there's any other ones like that anymore. Obviously, we've got Spotify. You're streaming. But now with Web3, you can actually take over with ownership. No more centralization to Spotify to listen to music. Just tell us your thoughts on that and everything.
I don't know if we should mention it. He's the innovator down here, this guy. He's got an album out. You can own the songs like on the blockchain.
That's why I said there's a niche, right? There's certain niches that we like to ask people. So
it's actually crazy. So let's hear about how that came to be, and how did you get into music, maybe, and what made you think turn it into NFT, and how'd you know how to do that? Like it's even hard enough for us to figure out a JPEG. Like we were talking about it. How do you do that? Maybe we'll have to talk to you about that after. But how do you do it with the music tied to it? Like how does that happen?
Yeah, so when it comes to my music journey, I've been making music since I was a kid. I've been engineering my own songs since I was in middle school, because like I was saying about Apple, when I moved to my new school when I was a kid, they actually gave us MacBooks to take home. So I was able to use these MacBooks, use GarageBand, learn all this stuff. And my older brothers, they helped teach me how to engineer, help me make beats. So I was able to learn how to make music early on. And, I was always trying to be innovative with my music. I would be making my own beats, engineering. And even a lot of people would be like, yo, man, you're the only rapper who be producing and doing this, and you're doing your own cover arts. So I'm doing every part of the process. And when it came to NFTs, this is something that I wanted to innovate. So I was already thinking about royalties and how to create this system. And, I created a system on DistroKid, but I'm also working on a better one that is decentralized as well. So I'm going to have a decentralized way of distributing royalties as well. But yeah, when it came to music, I wanted to make sure that I was able to give ownership where I'm giving people NFTs. I did everything through my website, but then I also sent them a link that they can now claim certain royalties for those streams as well. So this is something that I've been working on. I'm still working on it. And, I'm trying to innovate the field. I'm one of the first artists to ever do this, especially single-handedly. And, one thing about NFTs is I think I got the STEM player with me, but you actually have ownership over the music. When I was a kid, I used to be able to download a song, put it on my device, and listen to it. Nowadays, everything is streaming. And it's, to me, I don't like it like that, because I don't really listen to as much music as I used to because of streaming. Like I used to download albums. I used to listen to so much music every day, but because of streaming, I feel like I don't listen to as much because it just doesn't feel like it's mine anymore. And with NFTs, we can actually have ownership. And one thing that we're going to see a lot is physical devices, where it's like people are going to be able to have physical devices with their NFTs on it with music. They're going to be able to play it again, and it's going to be Bluetooth and stuff. So the way that music is now, in terms of streaming, is going to change. It's going to kind of look like how it did back in the day, where people actually own music again. So I'm very excited about that, and I want to be one of the first people being the forefront for pushing that culture because it actually is so much more beneficial to an artist. Also, I want to mention that Nipsey Hussle was a person that really inspired me because I remember that he sold his album for $100. And at the time, that was like very unheard of. It's like you never heard of somebody, making their mixtape 100, but it was because he was showing that, he's an entrepreneur with his music. He's able to sell these songs. And I'm doing the same thing with the NFTs, man. So, we're trying to innovate, we going hard, and we just working on getting better, man.
You guys got to definitely check out his music. He incorporates all the VV slang and terms, which is really cool. I think he even got one about VV Vault in there too. So it's almost time for the Superstar Money song to come out. Whenever you want, we'll give you the rights to the name and all that. But no, we're definitely excited for what you got coming. And like you said, you're an innovator in the space for sure. And when I heard that you can make NFT into music, I didn't even know about it. So like you taught me that. So imagine how many people once they come in and they find out about you, because you're a really smart guy, and you're bringing all these connections to everybody. Like I said, I got to repeat it. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Non-Fungible Wonderfull, because the videos are bangers and they're blowing my mind. And we talk about VV every day, and it's still blowing my mind. So they take that in.
And I love how you said something, because it's something that a music lover is going to say. Somebody who's into it, it's something that they do. You liked it more because you felt the ownership when you had an opportunity to buy it. I think it almost is the same as a collector. Like we're in a collector app, so people they feel the ownership now of these collectible items, and it's something that even in the physical world, that feeling of that ownership made it that much better. That drove the continuous buying and collecting of that item. So I like how you said that, and I mean, the crypto world, I mean, it's with smart contracts and everything, it's amazing for royalties that you can have just full blown, decentralization of music. You own it every time it's listened to. You as we know, you're already involved in this, right? You get royalties, whatever. So I think it's pretty incredible what you pulled off there. Yeah, like in terms of music, it's going to be game changer as time goes on. Do you think Omi can be involved in that at all?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I think Omi's going to be a big part of it. I want to drop my songs on Omi. I want to do stuff with Omi as well, because I think right now, when it comes to the Omi token, we haven't really seen what the Omi token could do. Like, think about how right now all of these brands are on the VV app. They're able to get their royalties. They're able to get all of their splits. And it seems like the Omi token is facilitating this in a very smooth way, a very easy way. So, yeah, Omi is going to be a big part. And I like what you said about the whole collector aspect, because I never really saw myself as a collector that much, maybe like with electronics, but with music, man, I used to download mixtapes all the time. I used to download songs. And nowadays it's just like, I don't really have a connection to the music because I don't feel like it's mine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I own it anymore. But I think that, when it comes to albums, this is going to make artists way more money. But artists have to be careful because these are smart contracts. And the one thing that messes up every artist is contracts. So you have to understand that you have to be willing to not sign to a label, to not do certain things, and really do it yourself. It don't matter if you're getting 1 million streams. It don't matter if you're getting 1 stream. If you love it, push it. And if you got a dream, go hard for it, but don't give up who you are for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, it's something that only a true music lover can speak to, right? You're speaking from experience on that one. So it was a very different perspective. I have another question for you regarding, and I will change the topic here. So do you have anything else that you want to mention regarding that?
Yeah, I would say, definitely check out the album, man. Yeah, in the album, I was going hard. Just my homie Beats by Snow, Arco Snow, was sending me beats. My guy J1K was sending me beats. I was just in the lab right here on this computer, just cooking up, just making songs, engineering everything.
It's good. It's a good album. No, it's definitely worth it for sure, guys. Check it out. And he's going to be an innovator. You never know. This could be the first, right? Like FA, you know what I mean? So if he gets it intertwined with Omi and can show to people how much, how well they can do royalty wise and whatnot, you never know what happens when the big guys, when Ye and all them come in now and try and do the same thing, right? So it could be just the beginning, and you could be the first one, which is kind of crazy.
Yo, exactly. And I wanted to mention Ye because I'm looking for my Donda player. I don't know where it is though. But the thing about Kanye, I think he uses blockchain technology for the Donda player. And I heard that a while ago, and I was like, yo, Kanye already knows. And I was like, I bought the Donda player because I want to come out with my own hardware device that people can use and stuff. Like, I also want to create AR hardware where it's digital hardware that people can use. You know what I mean? So like, these are things I want to work on down the line. But with this VV income, that's what I'm gonna start putting it into, like developing myself and helping others too.
He's got a lot of projects on the go for sure. It sounds like crazy times. And no, I like the idea of the utility of the token, and we've seen it already, like kind of with Brock and the Fish and all that. So it'd be kind of cool. Like, you're an OG. I'm sure they recognize you. Perhaps you've already had those conversations. I don't know, but it'd be really cool to see someone start in that space and be able to make it into a collectible, like Rob was talking about.
Yeah, man.
So, question for you, because speaking about projects, you've drawn on your experience with other crypto projects, with other metaverse projects. Yeah. You've drawn on that experience and you've been applying it to the VV environment as well. So why don't you talk a little bit about, what are those other projects that you're interested in, some things that have really stood out to you, and what VV can learn from them?
Yo, yes. I'm glad you asked this, because one of my favorite crypto projects besides VV right now is this project called Over the Reality. And they actually have an app in the App Store where you can buy virtual land. And on this virtual land, you can build experiences on it. So imagine with the VV app, if you were able to buy some land and then you could build whatever you want on it and bring your NFTs in. But not only that, but you can have somebody come through and like it looks like them, because you take a picture of yourself and it like scans a body. They can see it. They can do different actions. You can talk to them. You can have multiple people in there. Like, Over the Reality, this is next up. Like, if VV never existed, I'll probably be full-time Over the Reality. But Over the Reality, one thing I love about them is that they're very decentralized too. And owning this land is almost like owning a domain name or some type of online space, because they're also going to be integrating artificial intelligence that you can have on your land. And this artificial intelligence can tell people stuff. It can walk around. Like, check out that project. That's one of my most craziest projects that I love, man.
I think you brought up a great thing there about digital land. We didn't even talk about it yet. So VV, we know digital land it is part of their long-term plans in the VV Verse. We talked about the digital goods aspect in the ecomi paper, how maybe when you get your show, it's this equivalent of a showroom. Maybe you're buying the hardwood floor now because you want to decorate it. You're buying furniture. You're buying things that you would normally buy in your physical house to decorate. Now you're buying it in the digital world, these digital goods. And there'll be some geographic system that they'll have set up. This is how at least I envision it. I don't know if you envision it the same way. Do you?
Yeah. So with the VV Verse, it's kind of hard because it's like, I don't know if their focus is more augmented reality or virtual reality. But if it is augmented reality, I see it looking a lot like Over the Reality. So, for example, let's say, you have your showroom that is not on a land. You'll be able to buy some virtual land, then you can place that showroom on the land, and you can walk around and stuff like that and invite people over. They'll be able to see it. And maybe there will be some type of feed in the app that shows like the top rooms on the app where you can just pull up to it, jump in if it's like open or private or something like that. So I see it as being an augmented reality metaverse. Maybe you have your own avatar that you can go into a room with, but VV hasn't released too much about it, so I'm still kind of like waiting for some more news. But yeah, I think it's gonna be big though.
Yeah, I think it's going to take some time for sure. And it might not be what people expect at first, which might be something that people got to get over. But those things take time, and they're not anywhere yet. Like no other project has kind of put it out there full force and said like, go walk around and do all these things. It's little things at a time here and there. Like you just said, over the reality. That sounds like it's one of the more advanced ones.
Yeah, over the reality. Another thing I love about them that you can actually connect your wallet to the app, and once you connect it, any NFT that you have, you can use it in AR. So if I have an NFT from you on Polygon or Ethereum, I can actually pull this NFT up and see it in AR. So with them, I see them being very close to VV with what they're able to do, because when we think of the VV Verse, that's over the reality. Like hands down, that's over the reality. But that's why I'm wondering, what will the VV Verse look like, and will it be similar?
Maybe it's something that they speed up by kind of partnering with one of these other guys, or looking to do some kind of a takeover or something like that, because that could speed it up for sure. If you're saying that these guys have this stuff all the way down the line, not necessarily them. I'm sure there's a ton of projects, but I think that's the best way if they really want to get it out quickly.
Well, I have a different. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm about to say one thing. I was watching the over the reality interview with the CEOs, and they actually did say that they were open to be acquired. So I was kind of happy. Like, all right, hopefully VV, steps in and takes them over or something, because they're doing amazing things, man. But the only thing about VV is I don't know if they're going to be as decentralized as the over platform. So that's the only thing. But I think VV can learn a lot from them.
That's where your video today comes in real nice, because who better than to partner with for a universe than Apple themselves, right? So if they really wanted to get it done quickly too, they got a lot of brains in that company that will probably be one of the quickest to get it out and done properly.
So I had a different perspective on that. We did a video before on how the global MTL rollout, when it first came out with Recur, how people saw it as a negative. It was actually a little bit more of a positive for me, because in my opinion, when you see someone else make something possible, now you know it's possible. So when you're moving towards delivering it, you're delivering something that you know has already been done before. It's not the first time. So when you tell me about how VV can learn from another crypto project that has done exactly what we expect them to do, take these NFTs that they are currently offering with the premium IP, bring them into a digital environment with digital land in a VV Verse environment, and we know it's been done right now on the App Store, that tells me that maybe they're not as far as we think. They've definitely kept their cards to themselves. They haven't said much about exactly how it's going to be. I asked a question once on an AMA. I asked a question regarding gamification in the paper. They were saying that you'd be able to like almost play to earn. You'd be able to find collectibles. You'd be able to find. They got rid of finding money gems because that's not going to work anymore, they said. And Reese responded, "Oh, that's a VV Verse question." So they have their ideas, they're just not telling us.
Yeah, because what you just said, over the reality already has that. To be honest, over the reality has this thing where they have collectibles like every week or 2 weeks, or they change it up. You can go around, you can find collectibles and stuff all around the world. Okay. And also they have it where they said that a big focus of them is going to be gaming, and over the reality is built in Unity. So I already know that VV NFTs can go to over the reality. Also, there's this thing called NF Trade that is mentioning on Immutable X too, and Immutable X just partnered with them and over the reality. So I know VV NFTs can go on there. So yeah, now you're starting to make me think, man. Maybe over the reality is going to be the VV Verse or something, man.
That'll be sick.
Well, that's what we want. We knew that this conversation, we can play off each other's ideas and perspectives and maybe see where it goes. And like honestly, like the fact that you told me that they can play to earn already in that what's it called again? Over the reality. Again, it's the first time I'm hearing about it. But the fact that they already do that was in the ecomi white paper of what they wanted to do. So that makes me feel more bullish that VV can maybe deliver on that sooner than we think, because Global MTL came out with Recur. Let's see if they can do it, shortly after, 2 or 3 months, or shortly after that one was. And I know they promised it a long time ago, but it's shortly after. But that's huge. And again, as you just pulled it up, look at this. There you go.
Yeah. So you could also even have wearables where it'll track your movement, where you can have it on your arms and stuff. And And also they said that you'll be able to use your phone and it'll track you. And I also saw that Apple just released a new feature where the phone will be able to track you and stuff like that. So over the reality, this is very bullish. Like you see how the avatars look. Like if you take a picture of yourself, it'll put it on your avatar. So I'll be able to see like your face.
I think I need to download this just to get the avatar to put it as my emoji or something.
Yeah, download it. Look, download it, and you could go to an experience. Like I made different places. Like, and the thing about this, you could make whatever you want. Like, this is something where like I also do 3D design, so I make these different rooms, and I have people come up through them and stuff like that. So,
wow.
Yeah, this was a great example to answer my question on how VV can learn from NFT projects. Is there
I'm sure they know about it. If people in our community know about it, I'm sure these guys all know about this stuff.
We're gonna have to make sure they know about it.
Jesus.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, I gotta go back into them partnerships again. But you see,
do a double check.
Yeah, you see NF Trade on there. Polygon is also big. We know that Epico Regal is working with Polygon. Chainlink, Comey's working with Chainlink too. These other places I haven't seen. A lot of these I'm gonna have to look into. Oh, Boston Protocol too is gonna be a big partnership of theirs. Oh, okay. I see it's listed on Coinbase too.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's cool. It's cool that you mentioned it, and I really like the idea of Veve kind of working with someone who already has got something going. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have another one too. Yeah, Wilder World. All right. So this one's more of an augmented reality metaverse, but Wilder World, this is a VR metaverse. This one is very bullish. Also, they interacted with ecomi on Twitter before, where it was like one of Vive's first drops, and they were kind of like, "Oh, this is where the fun begins." But this is built in Unreal Engine. They made a recreation of Miami, and they're partnering with Coinbase. They're not Coinbase. They're partnering with CoinMarketCap. The mayor of Miami, Metacoven is also one of their partners.
Okay.
And Metacoven is a person who bought Beeple's $69 million piece, and he's actually going to turn that piece into a museum in Wilder World. So when I think of us using our cars and other metaverses and it being interoperable, this is one that we can use it in, and this is minting on Immutable X. And also this one, you can like play as animals and stuff too. Like you could be an animal walking around.
So how do they ultimately profit from this? So the city of Miami is basically replicated now in the digital world. Now, is the intent that you will put glasses on and live in AR in this Wilder world, or is the intent that you would use it in its own kind of VR environment?
I think this one will be more of a VR environment where it's like you'll need cars to get around, you'll need stuff to get around. So I see it kind of being like GTA, but instead of just taking anybody's random car, you have to have your own. Because even with one of the earliest videos I heard about the VVV Verse, Reese was saying, "Oh yeah, if you drive your DeLorean out and you dent it, it's going to be dented. You have to get it fixed." And that's what I knew. And that's what I knew. I'm like, this VVV Verse is about to be crazy. So that's why I always say like the collectibles and everything. You have to keep them in mint condition because it might be able to get messed up.
That reminds me of when, David, you brought up that idea of when you read the comics, they kind of get worn out. I liked that idea. A lot of people hated on it. I thought that was a genius idea.
I don't read them anyways.
No, but you can keep them in like better condition, Like I don't know. I like that idea.
Yeah. I don't read them. With my collectibles, especially with my comics, if I get one on the drop, I don't read it. I don't touch it because I also know that being the first owner is going to mean something in the future because, right now, I think we have to think about the new generation of kids and stuff because, we all got kids and stuff. So it's like we're going to be able to see our kids. They're going to have a whole different internet culture and a whole different relationship with these digital items than us. So I think that, the way that they kind of rate things is going to be very specific because the digital is all they're gonna know for real,
Incredible. That was insane. Some of the things that you just brought up right now, the other NFT projects, and of course, we need to know about these NFT projects because we can learn and apply that. I did not know that Reese ever made that statement because I wasn't here early enough to know. He talked about a dented DeLorean, a dented collectible. I never once thought that they would change your own collectibles into being something that can be damaged in that environment. That's incredible.
Yeah, and that's why, like, you know, when I was first on Veve, and like every time Cavell would drop a video, I would be the first person. You know, like I used to have a whole different YouTube channel name. I used to have a vlog channel, and people would know me just from being in the comments because I would just be the first person all the time. But the thing was, I started realizing that I was seeing connections that nobody was talking about. I'm like, I gotta talk about this. I gotta say something about this, you know, and that's why I made my channel. And you know, I still like, you know, Veve is just embedded in me. Like I don't even know how I can even talk about this stuff for so much, but I just love what Veve is doing. Like, you know, it's fun. There's conspiracies all the time. Like it's very, you know, it's a entertaining thing, man.
The community is awesome for sure. It's like one of the best communities around that I've ever been a part of. And like you said, it's easy to talk about something new every day. Things are happening all the time. And good or bad, we just like to point out what we see. I know we do some things that are against the grain sometimes, but backed up by facts or whatever. But stuff like you do is the stuff that really gets us going, and seeing these connections that people don't think about. They're not thinking about it every day. And even people who talk about Veve every single day don't see the connections that you've been pulling up. So guys, make sure, again, check out Non-Fungible Wonderfull, and make sure you're subscribed to his channel. Follow him on Twitter, because sometimes he puts it there, and sometimes he's tweeting other people's stuff out. Like he's a retweet machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like to retweet the fan, man, because you know, I know a lot of people follow me, and I want to make sure that they're able to see all of Veve content, you know, as possible. So I just love retweeting the fan, man. And
the community, I learned a lot from you.
Too great. Yeah, man.
So we're just over an hour here. I mean, I can keep going, but I've asked the majority of my questions. I think we're going to have you back, but I want to give you an opportunity. Is there anything else you want to tell us? Anything that's on your mind?
Yeah, I would say right now, man, I'm very excited. You know, I think that this month is about to be huge. My birthday is coming up, and they're talking about cash out June 30th. So, you know, I'm excited, man. I'm ecstatic. This new crypto news is major to me. I'm about to drop a video tomorrow morning just talking about my thoughts on it. And I just want to say, man, like, just keep learning, keep researching, and, you know, everybody just know that you did the right thing when you invest into Veve. Like, don't even stress, man.
Yeah, I've always been told. I mean, the industries we work in, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. So you're always chasing for more, right?
Yeah, and that's one thing, man. Like, I actually took time to learn about the entire space because, you know, I was so focused on Veve that I didn't have the awareness of the crypto space. So when I started learning more about all of these other projects, it helped me to understand a lot more about Veve and where it's actually going. Also, I want to say this too. This is some important stuff. Bitcoin is going to be huge. Like we don't understand. Like Bitcoin is going to be the world reserve currency, and I already see what they are doing. You know, like all of this Terra Luna stuff, all of this stuff, they are creating a way to peg assets to Bitcoin and price that in Bitcoin. I'm not fully sure. I'm working on a video now about it, but I just want to say this crypto space is very connected. Even with OMI, I think everything really ties back to Bitcoin. But yeah, I would love to be back on here with y'all, man. Yo, this was a great stream, and we definitely got to do some more, man.
No, for sure. No, thank you for coming on again, and happy early birthday, guys. Wishing my happy birthday in a couple of weeks here on June 30th, MTL Day. Right?
Word.
Yeah,
well, look,
well,
I'm about to say NFT NYC is coming up, so maybe we might see some stuff happen there, which is like June 21st, June 22nd. So
yeah,
take it crazy.
They announced that they're going to that too. No, is that one of the, or was it New York Comic Con? Sorry. That was New York Comic Con, I think, that they talked about. But anyway, no, it'd be cool. Like all these events that are happening, they're making me super jealous. Trying to get out to the one in November, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Hopefully we can get to one of them at some point.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I haven't been to one yet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say we really appreciate you taking your time this evening to join us. We definitely know that you're busy, man, and you know we really enjoyed speaking with you. Huge shout out, and actually, Joe, I think we got to give him a superstar money standing goal for everything he's done.
You
You can't see our heads, but you get the idea.
So again, we really appreciate you coming on the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to him, Non-Fungible Wonderfull. You can find him on YouTube and definitely follow him on Twitter as well. Definitely love to have you back on the channel, have some more discussions. We covered a lot in this hour, and I think we could have probably gone for another hour and beyond.
Yeah.
So we gotta get back and keep those creative juices going for sure. So thanks again.
Yeah, definitely, man. Pineapple Gang, we here, man. We're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of crazy topics in the future too, man.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. So yeah, no, exactly like you said. And if you haven't already, guys, be sure to become a superstar. Hit the subscribe button down below. We'll keep bringing you guests and OGs like Non-Fungible down there. And we hope to have you back on the next one. Rob, you got to take it away.
Yeah, let us know below. We talked about a lot of speculation here about what we can see in the future. Let us know below what you think about all of our topics. Let us know what you think about Veve, how that's gonna grow going forward with what we learned from these other NFT projects. What did you think about some of the thoughts that Non-Fungible Wonderfull had related to other things too? Like how about the glasses, Starlink, some of the things we talked about at the beginning. We'd love to hear from you. We'll respond to every single comment, and we'll hear you on the next one.
Love you.
See you on the next one. Take care.
Bye.